We are excited to be bringing you this webinar today. We are here with Emerging Destinations and Rethink, and we're here with Jane Barron. She is the president of Emerging Destinations and so gracious to host this webinar for us today. So Jane, over to you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for coming today. It's so good to see everyone. In case people get a little confused, during COVID, we started a little company called Rethink, and we were going to sort of let it die. And then the wonderful tourist board of Porto and the north of Portugal hired us. So Dave de Gregorio, a guy, Hugh Huff, and I are all working together on this account, and so excited. I vacationed here a couple of years ago and absolutely fell in love with Porto. My one complaint from the trip was I didn't spend enough time in Porto and really do more immersive things there. I did have one of the best walking tours I've ever had in my life there, and it was a free walking tour. To pay what it's worth. Absolutely fantastic. And we tipped the guy a lot because it was so great. And so I want to introduce Raquel. She is wonderful enough to be filling in for Catalina, who unfortunately was not able to join us today. She usually covers, you said, the Asian markets. And so Middle East. So this will be a little different for her. Americans will see and Canadians will see the different questions that y'all have. So I will turn it over to you now. Thank you for being here.
No, thank you for hosting this, and thank you all. So I gather that you're over 500 people here. So thank you for your wanting to know a bit more about Porto. Of course, that usually we promote Porto, but we cannot tear it apart from the rest of the destinations. So, vindo ao Portugal, so some Portuguese for you. So this is our most known picture of Porto, but there's a whole lot of region to know about. So let's get started. So for you in the American continent, so Porto and Northern Portugal are here in Europe, near the Atlantic and the Mediterranean, and this is Portugal. So we have our border with Spain in top and in the left side, and the northern part of Portugal is this one. So this region over here with the Spain in the top part and in the right side, in the left side. I'm sorry. Left and rights are not very good to me. So, which means that there's a good option in terms of Portugal to be combined as well with Spain. And we never get this off our minds because we do tend to promote the cross-border program. So the region is a bit like this. We have a sort of 4 sub-destinations, sub-regions, if you call it, and we can divide this region in 4. We are the most populated region in Portugal, so most of the industry and the culture in terms of heritage is in the northern part. And why? Because Portugal, and the name Portugal comes from Porto. So Portugal was not born in Porto, but rather in Guimarães. So Guimarães is the cradle of the nation. So this region is in here we can have a lot of everything, a lot and a bit of everything. So we have our airport in Porto, so it's the hub for the rest of the destination. So from Porto you can go easily to the northern part. So from Porto to the border it's like an hour. If you take the train, you can take a train to Braga, to Guimarães, or to Viana, and you can ride it 40 minutes, for example. Also, to this greater area, which is very known for the American market, which is the Douro Valley. We have excellent highways that connects the whole region, so you can program the region either by a self-guided, a fly and drive, a bus with bus riders, with groups, using either the train, the highways by bus, and even by boat, because we have here the river, Douro, and you can take a cruise from Porto until Douro and backwards, or even sleep in the boat and do the river until the border. So up here in the top of Porto, you can see the only national park here is very big, and it's the only national park in Portugal. So it's here in the north, and where you can do a lot of hiking and walking and the nautical sports in the rivers. So canyoning, canoeing, whichever. I think there's a lot of waterfalls as well. So it's a very protected area and very beautiful. But we also have other, like you see here, other parks, which allow us to have a lot of greenery across the region. So we have UNESCO heritage sites that I'm going to show you a bit further. So, but we have here in Porto, in Braga, the Douro Valley, the whole Douro Valley, and the Coa Valley rock art. More things, blue flag beaches. So we don't sell, the northern part of Portugal has a sun and beach destination. The water is freezing cold. The landscapes are amazing, but it's not something that we promote. It's like we have other beautiful places and with warmer waters and with a lot of offer in Portugal for the beach and not in Porto. But of course, you can have both things. So you can do a city break or a visit to the whole region for 1 week. But you can have also part of beach. You can visit the city and then go to the beach and also have a sense of how the beaches are. But they're very good because we have 73 white flags. So this is a European standard for cleanliness and also the pureness of the waters. So we have a lot of them, and also we have river beaches, which means that even in the summer, you can have an activity by doing wine tours in the Douro Valley, but also visiting, for example, this protected landscape in Azibo and do be at the sun and do some nautical sports in this case. So how's the weather? Today is awful. Today is raining, cats and dogs, and it's varying between storms, but usually weather in the northern part of Portugal. So we have 250 sunny days during the year. The summer, and I'm sorry, I did not make the conversion into Fahrenheit, but you probably will. So in the summer, we are in between. The evening is colder than the day, but it's common. Here in this area, it's very common to have 40 degrees, which is very, very hot. And in the winter we have mild weather. We don't have that excessively heat like in the desert or in the high mountains, the low degrees below zero. You have some, but they're not very harsh. So to explain this image that you're seeing over here is the Douro Valley, so a river, and the landscapes, because it's one of our regions, our wine regions, with these landscapes like terraces. This is where the port wine is produced, but also other wines as well. Not only the port wine, but only here, and for your information, port wine is produced only in Porto and the north of Portugal, only in this region. Some other regions have tried to produce it, but this weather that we have here is like a microclimate here in the Douro Valley is so specific and so special that only in this region you can produce the port wine. Other regions can have a similar wine, but not as important as this. So related to the UNESCO heritage classifications, we have 5 UNESCO heritage sites like this one, these 5. So we have here the Shrine of Beaumont, which is in Braga, Porto Historical Center. So the area near the river, the 2 river banks, Porto and the other river bank, which is Vila Nova de Gaia, that area with the bridge and the wine cellars are considered a UNESCO heritage site. So the Douro wine region, the Douro Valley, is also the whole region a UNESCO heritage site. And the Guimarães Historical Center, because Guimarães has plenty of historical monuments and heritage due to being where Portugal was born, where our first king lived. And there's the castle you can visit. The Coa Valley rock art is also UNESCO heritage. You can do, it's near the border with Spain. We even share some of the heritage and do some combined visiting. This means in terms of programming that you can visit, that you can have guided visits here at the Shrine. The Shrine is included in a park, a protected park with a lot of hotels, with a lake, with a boat, with restaurants. So plenty of options to provide. and also has sort of a transport that is unique in the whole world. And it's here because, well, unless you want to, you can go and climb all the stairs until the shrimp from Braga until the top, or take a small tram and ride it up to the top. In Porto, I will explain a bit further some of our experience that you can have. At the Douro Valley, of course, you can do the boat trips, the wine tastings, the jeep ride in the vineyards, the picnic in the vineyards, the picnic in beautiful, oh my God, sorry, that's thunders, in some viewpoints, and the historical center as well. So broderies, visiting, and also trying to do some of the broderies. And then the Coa Valley rock art. The Coa is a river, and the rock art is right in the river. It was discovered in 1996 when a dam was built, and this part of the river had less water, so it was discovered all this rock art, and it was classified, and we have a museum which you can visit with all the different types of rock art, and you can visit 4 different sites where the rock art is. Given that rock art is in the valley, it means that you need to go by a jeep, by a 4x4 jeep to visit it. You can have a picnic you can have visitings in the starlight, because sometimes and quite often in the summer it's so hot that visit these sites is very complicated. So the evening visits are quite often provided, and they're beautiful because you don't see any light except the stars and the light that goes into the rock, into the art, into these engravings. You can also visit, it has a long wooden pathway, so you can buy the ticket and do your self-guided visit along the pathways and see the rock art. And also you can do some canoeing with, it's not quite canoeing, sort of canoeing, and visit, because as I said, it's near the water. So if you use the canoe, you can see the rock art and go back and forth. Other 2 UNESCO heritage immaterial in this case. So we have this carnival. These are the curated, which are masks that are used. And during the carnival, they do a festivity and they dress like this, and they have some, those kettles that the cows and the sheep use. So they use those sort of kettles just to do some noise, a lot of noise, and it's a very interesting festivity. Regarding what experience you can do besides the carnival, of course, is an experience itself, but it's only once a year. But you can do these masks, so you can do a workshop where you have someone explaining how to do the mask, and you can do it and take it with you. So it's an interesting experience. And there's a museum also, and more like an interpretation center that you can see and visit. The Black Pottery, it's near the Douro Valley. You can visit the artisans, buy the pottery, and this pottery is used at home. You can do a chicken in the oven. You can do even your turkey in the oven with this pottery, of course. So Porto is the way to go into the region. Of course, Porto is most known, but the region has a lot to offer. So 3 to 4 days in Porto. You can stay 3 days in Porto and see the whole city without visiting a lot of things. If you want to visit a museum or a lot of museums, then you need more days. Like I said, Porto, when we talk about Porto, we consider Porto a whole region. So not only the city, but the region around Porto, which is very near. You take 10 minutes in between each of the cities that are near Porto, taking the metro, the subway, and you can have a lot of broader experience in Porto. You can do surf in Porto, near Porto, so in Matosinhos. In this bank, we have the wine cellars. Over here is Porto itself. So we have here Clérigos Tower, the most known ex libris. A lot of interesting monuments to see, like the cathedral, one of the most ancient. You can cross the bridge. The bridge is walkable, so Only cars go below, and on top you can walk the bridge and see the sunset, which is very beautiful. It's near. You can watch it over here to the river mouth. So immersive experiences. So to visit the destination, of course, we want to be into things. We want to experience things, not only just see, but someone that explains us. Sometimes that's the most complicated thing to do. Just to explain you, we're building our own marketplace at the Porto Tourism Board, Porto and North, and this marketplace will have all the experiences of the region. Meaning that if you have, for example, if you want to see what's in the region of Porto, you cannot find it a lot in the usual channels like Get Your Guide or Far Harbor, whatever. But you can only have the Porto experiences. But our aim is that Porto is really the hub to go into the rest of the region. And the only way we can do it is by having a marketplace where you can see the experience and you can buy it, of course, but it's more focused on B2C. For trades, of course, you can contact directly the provider. So it's a way that we thought it could be interesting to start explaining and start showing what we have best in Porto and the North. So this is an image of our cathedral in Porto, say, and although it's culture, we have here a bit of many images. So the harvesting season, of course, you can visit the Douro Valley during the whole year. Of course, the winter season is a bit more harsh and the region is not that beautiful. There's of course, you can do the wine tasting and sleeping also. You have a lot of offer in terms of accommodation. But the harvesting season, which is September, mid of October, it's something very interesting to do. This experience, the sign, you can go in the morning, see the boats arriving, the fishermen, how they deal with all the different the fishes they bring. You can visit the market, and then you can even visit a cannery industry. So you can have a whole experience regarding the fish. The filigree workshop and the filigree route and the filigree heritage is something that we share a lot. We cherish at the north of Portugal. You can only find in the north in 3 cities in the north of Portugal. But the filigree in Porto is the experience can be done. You can see how this artisan is building this heart. So FYI, this heart was, and I don't know if anybody has seen it on the magazines, was worn by Sharon Stone about a decade ago. And that's how a filigree got to be known outside Portugal. Nowadays it's known in the whole world. And it's a very delicate art and you can visit the artisans doing this. You have a museum and you can even try to do some of it and take it home with you. So traditional dances you can see, and if you're, for example, if you're working with a group and you want to do some activities, some of these traditional dances, just to do some enthusiasm into your dinner, you can have it. This workshop of the broderies, they have small, simple sentences for the loved ones. So the top selling point is oh my God, how's it called? Well, the 14th of February, where all the loved ones exchange their most cherished moments. Well, the tuk-tuk tours, of course, in the whole city. Immersive shows, although these are immersive experiences, immersive shows, we have different ones. Van Gogh, the legends of Porto, meaning all the different parts of history that Porto went through, and the immersive shows of spiritus. These are experiences. These are in the former customs place in Porto, Alfândega. And these immersive shows, the spiritus, are in the Clérigos church and tower. So in the inside the Clérigos church, like you see it over here. So in terms of wine and gastronomy, you can do different things. Private tours that end up with a special meal, a commented meal, food tours where you visit different restaurants throughout the food tour, and also always explaining the dish. So the north of Portugal is very bold in terms of gastronomy. You can find different dishes and very, very good ones. So be prepared and prepare your guests to eat well and drink well. The traditional, so this is a dish made with meat in between, with some sausages and a special sauce with cheese on top and some egg, of course. And the secret is in the sauce. It's not how it's made, because it's made the same thing everywhere. But the sauce, it's really exquisite. So besides this, you can do some desserts. We have different workshops that you can do and eat, of course. Not only do it, we have to eat what we do. So the wine tours in the Douro Valley, the cannery, so a visit to how these canned sardines, for example, or tuna are made. Visiting the local markets, of course. As I said, I'm used to the Asian markets, and this is nothing compared to it. But we do have in Matosinhos, which is known for the world's best fish, so it's here in Matosinhos, and our local markets in the heart of Porto, the Bulhão market. You can have different food tours, for example, some tastings, so you can combine the tour, the city tour in the downtown, a cultural tour, with a visit to the Bulhão market and stop for a wine, for some tasting, so something in between your visit. Luxury and lifestyle, you have high-end hotels and experiences. The north of Portugal is known for its spring water. We have 21 spring water locations, meaning not with hotels, but with experiences, either in Porto and spread it out to the region. So, but aside those spring waters, so thermal waters for treatment, we also have spas. So like vinotherapy in the Eight-Man or in other hotels with massage and some jacuzzis and all the treatments that we are used to have in a spa treatment. You can also have the experience of sleeping in a barrel. So these were barrels, this is in the Douro Valley, and you can sleep in one of them. Some say it's claustrophobic, but here we don't see the windows, but it has a window on the other side. So in terms of nature and adventure, hot air balloon tour, they're not very common in the northern part because it's very windy, but we do have this offer. The Porto Bridge climb. So we have 6 bridges in Porto. You can do some boat tour in between the bridges. So you can go from the Ribeira Center until the river mouth and come back, and you see the 2 banks. And this is one of our bridges. You can do the walking until the top. You can see the sunset or the sunrise, whichever. Also bike tours. Porto is very hilly, so bike tour, better to have it like an electric bike. But besides the bike tours, you have Segway tours, whatever, which are the other ones, the new ones, it's like the scooters. We had previously some scooters as well. So some more smooth mobility options. Horse riding tours, of course. We have here in the northern part, we have one of the biggest equestrian center in Portugal. It's in Esposende, and with championships, international championships. And also you can ride a horse, you can try to ride it, you can learn how to do it. Donkey rides. Donkeys are very common in one of the region of Porto, in Miranda. They're unique in that region. There's no other place in Portugal where you can find this donkey. So it's from Miranda, donkey from Miranda, it's how it's called. So the canyoning experience, so need a lot of water. So in the top part of Portugal, like I have explained in Peneda Gerês. The walking trails, we have plenty of pedestrian routes. We have also the St. James Path for those who do the way. The off-road experience, like I mentioned before. The golf lessons experience, this is one of our golf courses. We have 4 golf courses with 18 holes. And other golf courses, but with less holes, so not for championships, but good for experiences. And of course, the Douro cruises, the stargazing in Gerês as well, so taking advantage of having no lights at all and watching the stars, and with guided experience, so we know exactly what we're seeing. So I could be here talking about a lot of more things, but probably you have more questions. Ada, thank you. I live here. Katia is the market manager for the US market, so she's always in contact with Jane and Lee. And you can contact her for more information, or me as well. So you all have my contacts. I don't know if you want me to stop sharing. Probably not.
Put up, and
Okay.
I've got a few questions for you. There were quite a few. I have no idea what the answer is. So the carnival starts February 13th, February 14th. How long does it last?
It's usually a weekend. The carnival itself, the day is on a Tuesday. It's not on a fixed date, of course, but it goes from the weekend until Tuesday, Wednesday. Then we have a Mardi Gras as well. So it's usually 5 days.
Okay. Can you tell us about the portion of the Way of St. James a little more? Where does it start in your region?
Okay, so it can start in Porto, for example, and do the Atlantic Way until Santiago. We have one that it's the central one. We have everything documented, so those who need, we can send the information. We have 2 of them are certified, so they are certified, meaning that all the way has accommodation, is cleaned. So and we're certifying the other 2. We have one that comes from Salamanca, meaning that does Spain and then all the eastern part of the region. I can show you here in the
about how many miles, about how far is it? I mean, how long is it?
Well, you can do it by steps in different phases, but I don't know the miles. It's a lot.
For kilometers.
Yeah. But I would say miles, although thinking in kilometers.
Yeah.
So we have one that comes from Porto, but it comes from the Lisbon and the southern part and goes up until Santiago. We have another one that comes from here and crosses the whole region and goes here. We have the central one that comes right over here from the center part of Portugal, Alentejo center and the northern part. Usually people do it in different times. For example, from Porto until Vienna, or starting in Vienna and going. The path is certified, meaning that you know exactly all the stations, all the parts, and you can choose. You can be, for example, you can visit the region and then go to Vienna and do only the path until Santiago, from Vienna to the Spanish part. So everything is feasible. We have everything with information of every step.
Okay. Then another question. Someone wanted to know, if you drive from Sintra, how long is the drive? And I will say I do know this answer. Yes, there are great places to stop along the way. But
yes, there is.
How long a drive is it from Sintra?
From Sintra to Porto, I would say 3 hours and 30 minutes, probably, depending. If you go directly, 3 hour drive. At least, yeah.
And a lot of, I mean, there are so many different things that you can do along the way there that unbelievable. Someone wants to know if your website offers sample itineraries and more information on various experiences.
Yes, we do have in our website in Porto CVB. We have different, we're changing until the end of December. We'll be having a new website, so until then. But we do have some list of experiences that can be done. Some of them are focused more on nature and these experiences related to hiking, but also a lot of experience from this region over here. But giving, for example, what can we do to help you? Imagine that you have already an idea of an itinerary. You want to stay certain days in Porto or in the region, and we can help you combine some experiences and giving you all the contacts necessary to do it. If you say my clients are more focused on luxury, they are families, then we'll help you with this combination of getting the best information for the program.
Okay.
But yes, we do have.
Great. A few more questions I want to get through. Can you rent golf clubs there?
The whole club, yes.
Chris, okay.
Yeah,
golf
and
clubs,
you can do
a lot of them. Okay.
Yeah, you can do, yes, and also do the clinics, only the experiences. Most of the golf courses have restaurants also and accommodation. So yes, you can do a lot of experience. Of course, the northern part of Portugal is not it's not the most known. Golf is not the most known product in the northern part, because the center and Lisbon and Algarve are the most, they have the best golf courses in Portugal, of course, but we have the most beautiful ones.
Okay, of course, of course. Someone wanted to know what walking tour I mentioned that I said was so fabulous. I'll be honest, my husband and I was yelling at him because I was mad at him because he was supposed to plan our day in Porto and had not. And we stumbled across this walking tour in a square. You can probably tell me, Raquel, where it is.
It's right in the city center. Of course, the city hall is doing a program to provide training for all the free tours. Of course, we prefer that, the free tours, and if you tip the tour, of course, you're giving money to the company. But we have plenty of companies that have tours, shared tours, walking tours, car tours, tuk-tuk tours, everything shared or exclusive. So we have plenty of options in Porto to provide. So no problem whatsoever, and we can send you over some information.
Great. Here's another question. Are telescopes, etc., used in the stargazing, and how far away is that from Porto?
In Gerês, so we have a couple of ones. We have one over here. It's very near. It's 40 minutes from Porto, and here in the northern part, in Gerês. It's near Porto because it's in Braga, but then it's very hilly because it's a park, and it's very natural with some roads that are not highways. So probably an hour from Porto. You can do a back-to-back. That's
okay. Great. Could you go back to the page that has all the contact information on it? And then while you're doing that, someone wanted to know, is there any bird watching in the national parks?
Yeah, in all of them. We have plenty of bird watching options, either in the whole region where we have the parks, yes.
Okay. Then Michelle wanted to know, who's the rep for Canada? We will be working with Canada, and Jenna in my office is based in Canada from my office. Is based there. How is subway construction affecting Porto? Are there any, and then the other question she has, are there any particular sites, neighborhoods that are popular with tourists that are affected by the subway construction?
Well, we're all affected when something is being built, constructed here. There's been a lot, but of course we tend to look into the positive side, residents, that's for the better, to improve the conditions that we have. Of course, there are certain sites, but everything is not, nothing is, how should I say this? Nothing is blocked. You just have to go around things, meaning that there are no parts of Porto that you cannot go. You can walk everywhere freely, but you just have to follow some different ways because the construction is on top. But none of the visiting areas is compromised. So,
okay. When is the construction expected to be done?
Well, it was supposed to be finished already, but Porto is very complicated because below Porto we have another city, so the old Porto, and every time we have to dig a hole. We have to have the archaeologists and everyone documenting everything. That's why it's taking so long. And then you have to fill it in but everything has to be documented. And that's one of the reasons. And but it's supposed to end, I don't know, probably one more year. Because we're seeing that everything has been improved. So,
okay. And then someone wanted to know what the name of the Douro River cruise was. I know there are lots of different options.
Yeah. So we have different companies. Either for the regular tours, meaning no sleeping, as for the cruises with sleeping option. We have different tours operating. For example, for the sleeping options, we have Tauca, we have Scenic, with that Viking, and then we have the Portuguese ones for the regular tours that go up the river and down. And there's the combination also going up the river and coming down by train, or the other way around, going by train. And the train ride to the Douro Valley is just amazing because the line is always along the river. So it's an amazing experience.
Yeah. And someone had wanted to know which side of the river was best, the north or south?
Both.
Both? Okay.
Yeah.
It's not that wide. So.
No, exactly.
And,
it's not that wide.
And I will say, when I was on the Douro, my friends and I, we rented, we had a local captain take us on his sailboat just up,
Right.
for, it was like 3 hour happy hour, and
Mhm.
it was fantastic.
You can
Absolutely
eat you can do those sort of experiences, just happy hour, a sunset, or a meal. Also, now we have an operator. It's a great partner of ours that has parties. So if you want to do a party in the boat with all your friends, and it's a party boat. That's how it's called.
So
So
fun.
a lot of things are being created to take
Great.
advantage of the river and the
Great.
boat.
And then we're going to have one more question, and then we will finish up. How far in advance can you purchase train tickets?
Well, the train is not complicated. It depends. If it's the train ticket to the Douro Valley, we have only 2 rides per day. One ride going in the morning and returning in the evening every day, Saturdays and Sundays. For visiting all the regions, you can just, for example, if you want to go to Porto, to another city, you can buy it on the same day and go on the same day. What's the risk of being, depending on the time of the day, it's crowded with the residents going up or down to work. If it's from Porto to Lisbon and Lisbon to Porto, then you must have them in advance, because there are peak schedules, so like the morning and the evening ones. And sometimes the whole day is fully booked and you have to really get in advance. But in advance means probably a week, not before.
Oh, okay. Okay. And then, so thank you very much. I do want to say there's another website, feelthecall.pt.
Yes, that's the one you will be having, exactly.
Yeah.
Feel the call.
Feelthecall.pt.
Yeah. Although this one has recent information, and the portal cvb.com as well, but it's more for in the residents. But yes, feelthecall.com, that's the future website. It already has some of the catalogs if you choose by product, nature, gastronomy, or the likes. And then you can take a PDF with some of the suggestions and the experiences that someone requested.
Okay, great.
Thank you for
Thank you so
mentioning.
much. We will be working
No,
on
thank you.
some AMs for next year. So, those of you who are on this, of course, we know y'all are interested enough to come. If someone wants me to spell the website, feel, FEEL, call, CALL.PT. So great. Thank you. There we go.
Yeah.
Thank you. So thank you so much. We really appreciate you. And everyone, we are here in the US, and Jenna, actually, she's on it. She's actually in Sierra Leone right now, but she's usually in Canada. And we've got a whole team here to help y'all also. And I will send y'all in our follow-up that information. Thank you.
All right. And with that, we will wish you all a great day and conclude our webinar. Goodbye, everyone.